Here's some food for thought. Why would you strive to be a millionaire or billionaire when everything is already yours? Why would you set your sights so low as to strive for a currency which could be worthless tomorrow, or any material object as a personal possession, when you yourself are one with God who owns everything, and from whom everyone merely borrows? Why would you pray for baubles like this, or try to manifest such things when they are nothing in comparison with what is already yours, through whom you are already a part of? It is quite frankly a kind of insanity. What is the source or origin of wanting more money, a better house, more friends, a better significant other, better? What are we operating from? The flesh, which is malfunctioning, or from the spirit? Certainly God knows that we need food, shelter, clothing, and so on in order to continue living in this life. Certainly He's aware that this frequently takes money in our society. That is not the issue at hand. But when we want or think we need more than what is given to us by Him, why is that? When we think we need these things to be happier, why is that? What is at work there? Most of the time, what is at work is fear of not having enough. Similarly, fear of being consigned to a lower social class than your peers is also at work. Fear of not feeling secure or safe. So what is at work with this kind of prayer or manifesting is tied to fear, which is the dominant response of the dysfunctional survival response system in the human brain, and something which I've talked about many times. In other words, desiring or believing that you need more than you have been given is a response born from the flesh and not the spirit. There are times and places where such things are appropriate and where they benefit not just the recipient, but all those around the recipient. And there are some prayers for such things which are appropriate within their own context, and when the request is born from love and not fear, for selfless reasons and not selfish ones. There are then these two kinds of requests of God. One's born of fear and self-service, and one's born of love and service to others. God's purpose for each of us is to free us from our enslavement to our malfunctioning or dysfunctional neurology, to free us from doing the bidding of our overreactive fear, aggression, and bodily craving responses. His purpose is for each of us to cooperate with Him and to operate with our true nature as a member of Him, a fractal, a piece, a shred of Himself, so that His love flows through each one of us. Which kind of request furthers this purpose? Sometimes God answers these flesh-born requests just to get someone's attention. It's His way of flashing a sign in front of your face saying, "Hey, I'm right here." But when He has your attention, He tends to shift away from these and tends to try and get you to make progress towards His goals for you, rather than your own frequently misguided goals for yourself. Those goals of His for you more often than not involve shedding those things you thought you needed, and those things you thought were certain and secure, so that you would trust Him instead of things which are by nature impermanent. He wants you to see what you really are to Him, and that is very difficult with distractions. Jesus' conditions for receiving what we ask for are these: that we ask with His name, and that we make our home within Him, and His words make their home within us. And as John said, how can someone actually be making their home within Him if they do not love? Consider the source of your requests to God carefully. Are they from fear or from love?